Hello? Hello, everyone. This is the second episode to a podcast station on my podcast channel I made yesterday. And, welcome. Glad this is the second day. Thanks for watching. And, today I'm going to be talking about my day and this crazy skiing story that happened to me last Thursday if you're watching this today. Probably not going to be. I make these videos late. Anyways, so here we go. So, it was a normal day of skiing. I wasn't exactly prepared per se, but pretty much there's this thing at the place I go to, the ski resort I go to, it's called The Wall. The reason it's called The Wall is a 90-degree angle, and this thing's and it's so steep it's pretty much 90 degrees down. So, I decided I wanted to go down it, which was stupid because that was my first time skiing in like a year, so not the best idea by me, but whatever. So, I decide that I'm gonna go down it, so I get in position, and like I'm at the top of it, like the most steepest part, and I decide, hey, nah, I'm gonna go further down it because this is too steep at the moment. So I go down to this little area. It's like nice clear area, no bumps. At least that's what I thought. Foreshadowing, and nothing that would make me like trip or anything, So I start going down it, and I start slaloming just normally, and I get some speed. I get quite a bit of speed, and I'm getting close to the end of it, and then out of nowhere, this random bump comes along, like this gigantic bump, and at like the few milliseconds before I hit it, I realize that I'm just absolutely screwed. Like, I was not stopping in time. I couldn't dodge it. I was just, in my head, I'm just like, oh, I gotta take this out. So, I hit it. My skis immediately fall off, and I go flying in the air. That's the longest time I've ever been in the air at one time. Like, I go flying, and that's the longest I've ever been in the air. I was in the air for a solid, I don't know, maybe 2 seconds, I don't know. So, it's a long time if you think about it. So, within that time, it felt like years in the air, so I had plenty of time to think, hey, okay, do I trust my helmet? Do I put my arms back and just trust my helmet that I won't crack open my head? Or do I put out my arms and try and probably break my arm, but worth it? And my idiot self decided, bye, Mom. Bye, Mom. Bye. Yeah, my mom just went into Home Depot. I'm staying in the car. Anyways, it's great. She's going to be gone for a while, so I got plenty of time to make this and edit it. Anyways, so yeah, I go flying, and I decide to put out my arms. But unfortunately, my right arm takes all the damage, and, well, my right arm doesn't take all the damage, but most of it. And I feel my right arm just like, I don't know how to describe it. Pretty much, it like popped out of the socket. My bone popped out of the socket. Like, I felt it. It was super weird. I felt it, like, pop out of its place. It was weird. Oh, man, I don't know how to describe it. It's weird. So, I'm super freaked out because nothing like this has ever happened to me. I've never gotten injured in my life, like the spoiled kid I am. No, I'm kidding. Which is actually kind of surprising because I'm a dangerous and risky kid. And how have I not gotten injured yet? So yeah, I'm terrified. Like, I am absolutely terrified. I'm about to start crying, not out of pain, just out of fear, because I'm terrified. So I start screaming for help. I'm like, help! 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 And about 10 seconds in, this guy finally finds me. I'm terrified. I tell him what happened, kind of. I told him the summary of it. And he's like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, yeah, you're gonna be fine and everything. I'll take you to the first aid place. Pretty much the emergency room. So, he keeps walking me, and keep in mind, I just absolutely ditched my skis. Like, I'm not even thinking of them. I'm thinking of my arm at that moment. So as he's walking me there, kind of side note, but this nice, really nice kid, walks up to me like from behind and said, "Hey, I got your skis for you." And just keep in mind, I'm completely out of it. Like, I am just done. I am just don't know how to describe it. Like, I am out of it. So I don't say thank you like the rude person I am, but I have an excuse because I was out of it and I wasn't feeling good and everything. And as we were walking, that's the first time in my whole entire life I've ever felt like passing out. Like, I felt like I was dizzy. I was nauseous. Wait, pretty much the same thing. I was nauseous, and my legs were tired. Well, not no, they weren't tired. I was dizzy, and I just wanted to lay on the ground and fall asleep. But then I realized that wasn't sleep. That's just me passing out. So I don't, and I just keep on going, even though I really just want to lay on the ground and fall and pass out. But I can't. First time that's ever happened to me in my life where I want to pass out. So yeah, this guy walks me over, and eventually gets this guy named the one of the like people, one of the ski patrol people, and they take me and they're like, and he says his name's Steve, by the way. I think I already said that. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna take care of you. Don't worry about it," and all that stuff. He was really nice and he really wanted to help me out and everything. So he took me. The other guy left, and the kid with the skis just kept following me. And once we got to the emergency room, he just Steve just said like, yeah, just place it on the bench and you could leave then. So yeah, he placed it on the bench, then he left. But I went into the emergency room and he told me to sit down at this one seat. At this point, all my nausea is gone and everything, so I'm kind of fine. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Oh, I completely forgot to mention that my like before I got some help, before anything, I felt my bone like snap back into place where it's supposed to feel. Like how it's supposed to feel, I felt it snap back into place. It felt weird, but it kind of felt good, to be honest, because that kind of made me feel good about myself. So yeah, it snaps back into place. Anyways, back to where I was. So yeah, I'm laying there. My arm is like really sore, and I'm just sitting there. Did I say laying there? I don't know. So yeah, I'm sitting there, and the guy talks to me. He's like talking to me like, "Hey, you're gonna be okay," and he wanted to check it out to see if it was broken or anything. He said try to move it. I moved it fine, which that kind of made me happy. He was really helpful. He said, try and take off your coat, because he wanted to see if I was like, okay. And wait, no, he didn't say take off my coat. He tried taking off my coat, and I wanted to help him out, because it's kind of rude to not help him. So I start like helping him out, and he says like, so once he's done taking off the coat, he's just like, "Hey, that's a really good sign that you can move and help me out. That's a good sign. Like you wouldn't be able to move your arm if it was broken, so that's a good sign." And that made me happy. I actually smiled, and he was like, "Oh, that's the first time I've seen you smile." Yeah, anyways. So yeah, I'm there, and 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 he feels around, and he's like, "Here, let me just he says these exact words. Don't take this next statement the weird way. He said, "Here, let me touch you." He kind of said it weird, but he was like, "Here, let me touch you." And he said, "You might not like that I'm about to do this, but I'm going to because," and he explained why he said that after. So he kind of like felt around my arm, like felt for my bone and everything. And he explained that the reason that he asked that, the reason he said that is because he said that if my arm was broken or fractured or anything, if he touched it, I would be screaming in pain and want to punch him in the face. That's what he said. And that made me feel good, really. That made me feel really good, too. So, another patient comes in with kind of the same problem with an arm thing, and he goes out and helps her, while this other nurse comes in and talks to me about it and everything, and yeah. She was saying how Steve was a really good, really good patrol guy, and I'm like, yeah, he is, and everything. So they call my, by the way, I'm like going with a ski group, like, I'm in, like a ski school group, like, I'm in a ski club for my class, for my school, and that's how I got in. That's how I go. And, they called over the person who's in charge of all that stuff, and, yeah, they talked to me, and, then suddenly a thought pops into my head, like, oh no, I feel like I'm about to cry, because I realized this may affect, like, I might get kicked out of the ski club for this. Now that I look back at it, it's kind of a stupid thought, but whatever. So yeah, I feel like crying, and I said, yeah, my main concern right now is that I'm kind of worried that I'm not gonna be in the ski club anymore. And they start saying, like, oh, no, you're fine. I mean, it's the arm, not the leg. They said this exactly. Oh, hey, yeah. You could have your whole entire face and arms, like, beat up and everything. As long as your legs are okay, you're fine. Now that I look back at that, that's pretty funny. So, yeah. Anyways, they are helping me out and everything, and, I explained to them that someone outside. So, I explained to them how I felt, how it, like, popped out of my socket, then popped in, but for some reason they didn't understand what I was trying to say, so eventually I just gave up, and, I told yeah, all of this was a bad experience overall. This not the end of the story, I'm just saying this. So, I'm just, like, I'm just not in the mood anymore, like, no, I'm kidding, I was still in the mood, to ski. But, side note, kind of foreshadowing that's not in the story. It's not really foreshadowing if it's not in the story, but, yeah, my skis were broken, I didn't get to ski for the rest of the time. Yeah, that kind of sucked, anyways, but, I mean, yeah. So, eventually they let me out. Turns out I was fine, didn't break anything, didn't fracture anything. But dang, man, I felt the bone pop out of the socket, and I don't know why they didn't believe me, but yeah. I felt it pop out of the socket, you guys can trust me. Anyways, oh man, this is gonna take forever to edit. Oh man. Okay. Anyways. So yeah, we go back to the ski lodge with the person that's leading. I'm just gonna name them Susie. Let's name them Susie for the story. So Susie, which is like the leader of who's in charge of taking everyone to ski club, Susie takes me over to the skiing lodge, and she asks me, on the way there, she asks me if I'm hungry, and I'm saying, no, I'm not hungry, I'm just kind of thirsty. And she's like, okay, you could get a drink, I'll give you some money. So she gives me $5, and I go get some apple juice, and I chug the whole thing. This is funny. So, on the way there, yeah, by the way, they told my mom, by the way. So yeah, on the way to the, place to get the drinks, like, these people I knew that came with me to the ski club place, like, it's a whole bus with, like, 40 people, it's definitely a club, and, like, these people were saying, oh yeah, what happened? I heard you went to the emergency room and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I popped my bone out of my socket, and they all just stare at me in disbelief. They're like their mouths are open, and they just stare at me in disbelief. And I'm like, yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, I get some apple juice, I chug the whole thing, and then I go back. I give her the change, and I say thank you. And that's the end of that segment of the story. I mean, my skis didn't work. Oh well, I mean, guess it's not the end of it. So yeah. By the way, I lost my helmet case thingy, unfortunately. So oh I actually tell my mom and everything, and she's like, yeah, okay. So, anyways, yeah, that's the end of my pod. Oh crap. Huh. That's the end of my podcast, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hey, mom. Welcome back. So much for at least 25 minutes. So, anyways. So yeah, guys, that's the end of my little story. Should probably get to editing. This is gonna take forever to edit, but whatever. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the little story and the little podcast too. Little part of my day, before we went to Home Depot, we actually went to this one skiing store to get new skis. You know, quote unquote new skis that were used, that's not the point though. And, I found the skateboard section, and I took one of the skateboards, and, just did a bunch of tricks on that, well, I mean, I wasn't doing a bunch of tricks. I did a boneless. These are all skating terms, by the way. Yeah, I did a boneless. I did a primo trick, and mostly it was just me practicing my shovets. But yeah. Anyways, guys, this is gonna take me long enough to edit. So hope you guys enjoyed this little story and podcast. I should probably get to editing. It's gonna take forever. Yeah, just to let you know, guys, I gotta watch these over again to make sure all the audio is good. So, I literally need to listen to myself for 16 minutes, which is really boring. Last podcast, it was a 6-minute thing, and that was just, oh my gosh, I found that so boring. I can't imagine how bad this is gonna be. 17 minutes long now. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end it. I should get to editing. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Yeah, guys. Yeah. Anyways, bye, guys. See you tomorrow. Hopefully. Alright, see ya.